All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kenneth Powell, and in this video, I'm demonstrating milestone 2 of my behavioral health compliance checker project. The goal of this milestone was to build a compliance engine that evaluates each record, determine whether it is compliant or late, and displays the results to the user. So first, I'm going to run the application. All right, you see the browser window opens. All right. I'm going to enter excuse me, I'm going to enter a test record. Let's see. Diagnostic assessment. Okay, submit new record. As we can see, the record was saved successfully. And then I'm going to enter a second record, but I'm going to make this one a late record. Right. All right. Now I'll click view compliance results. And as you can see here, it's a table of all the results that we've compiled through my various testing, etc. And so at the bottom, we'll see the two most records, the two most recent records I entered. And you see the first one I entered with the emission date of April 14th and the completion date of April 16th. It's compliant, and we get a note that says the assessment was completed on time. With this one, 9857, emission date 4/15. The assessment wasn't completed until April 20th. The due date was April 17th, so the status is late, and the assessment was completed after the due date. Now I'll demonstrate the new additions that I made to make the view compliance result table possible. All right, so the first major addition was the compliance logic file, and that is so where's that file? Right here. Boom. Here we are. And this is the main function here, evaluate record. And this function takes a record and it determines its compliance status. All right, so the next major feature will be the date handling. So I added logic to convert string dates into time objects. All right, which you see here and here. All right, so this allows the application to compare dates correctly instead of treating them as plain text. Another option would have been to store dates as timestamps in the database, but using string conversions keeps the implementation simple, and it was much easier for me to understand, for me to wrap my mind around this thing. All right. And then next I added a rule to calculate the due date. As we see here. Oh, and the so this sets a 2-day window for compliance. So any assessment has to be completed within 48 hours of the consumer being admitted to the program. So in a more advanced system, this could vary based on assessment type or be stored in a configuration file. But I chose a fixed rule to keep the logic straightforward, just for simplicity. This is my like I said in the previous video, the learning curve, guys. Um, so next will be the compliance decision logic, and I added the conditional logic that determines compliance. So if the completion date is on or before the due date, the record is compliant, which is here. Boom. Otherwise, it is marked as late. Boom. And this comparison is simple, readable, and easy to digest. Right? It's a simple less than or equal to inequality, and Very simple, very simple. So then next, I wanted to structure the return output. So here we go. So here we are. Boom. That's the return. This function returns. Oh, right. Boom. Okay. Yep. All right. So that's it for the compliance file. Because the next thing I want to show you is in the main file here. If I'm not mistaken. My notes. There we go. All right. Yeah. So just for clarity, so this is okay. So yeah. So as I was saying, on the application file, we see here. So this returns the results. And this actually, actually returns a dictionary with all relevant data, right? So this includes due date, status, explanation. I chose a dictionary instead of a class to keep the implementation lightweight. And because I'm a beginner, like I needed this to be super beginner friendly. So this was the easiest thing to implement for me. All right. Okay. 1 second. I'm just reviewing my notes. Forgive me. For the pause. There we go. So here I added a database retrieval function. This right here to get all records. Well, and this pulls all the save. Wow. So and this pulls all the save records so they can be evaluated. I used SQLite 3.row so fields can be accessed by name instead of index, which improves readability. Back on this file, right, I added this route, the add record, maybe excuse me, the results route. Ooh. So this route retrieves records from the database, loops through each record, applies the compliance logic, and then stores the results in a list. Right. So that's the link that takes us to that results table that we showed after when we click the link to view compliance results. All right. And as previously mentioned, right, with this line here. So I convert each record to a dictionary to simplify processing and to make the function easier to test. Okay, now I added a new HTML template called results.html. This page displays all evaluated records in the table. I used a loop to dynamically generate rows for each result here. Um, and another option would have been to use front-end framework, but a simple table keeps the focus on the back-end logic. Like I said, simplicity was key here. As I'm learning all these programming languages, I needed to, keep the simplicity very an intrinsic portion of my of this project for sure. Uh, Navigation update. So yeah, I added a link to the main form page that allows the user to navigate to the results page. This connects the full workflow from data entry to evaluation. All right. And then next also will be the build process. Um, and to create the application binary for the assignment submission, I use Pyinstaller. But and I'm really going to walk through that as we speak. All right. Let's not delete the whole template, shall we? Okay, boom, I'm gonna exit that. First, I'm gonna go over here and delete these files. Or delete these folders, I should say. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay. All right. Now I'll rebuild the executable. So this is what will generate the standalone executable file. All right, and now I'm going to run the application binary. Pause the recording. This is taking quite a while. Okay. Almost it happened almost right after I paused the recording. Nevertheless, um, hold on, actually still, oh, here we go. Boom, boom. And it takes us back to the page just for, sanity. I'll run it one more time. Submit record, and then finds results. Boom. There we are. All right. So, one issue I encountered was activating the virtual environment from the correct directory. I had to troubleshoot that. a journey, a journey. I resolved this by navigating to the correct folder and using the PowerShell activation script. So, what I noticed, my virtual environment, it was initially just in my major folder here. I had to relaunch it under the repository folder, and which you can see it's it's listed there. Another issue was a template error caused by referencing variables outside of the loop. And so that occurred in the results table. When I was doing this specific Jinja loop, I had a typo here, typing fast, and I did results in results, and it was trying to recall a complete different thing. It was giving me a headache for sure. So in a nutshell, I fixed it by properly structuring the Jinja loop. Also had to include the templates folder in the build so the executable could locate the HTML files. So if you notice, like when I did the Pyinstaller, um, all right, typically it's just the Pyinstaller one file, but to prevent any mishaps, I included the add data portion, which is with the templates you see there. Um, So in Milestone 2, I added the compliance logic, connected it to the database, and displayed results through the application. This completes the full workflow from data entry to evaluation and sets up the project for testing and expansion in the next time. In the next milestone. Thank you for your time. Until we meet again.